Human beings have one emotional need, and that is the need to feel loved. And we will distort our perception of reality in so many unique ways just to meet this emotional need. And this is really important to become aware of, especially if you're on a journey of awakening and evolving spiritually, because as you grow and expand your consciousness and your understanding of reality, the more and more that you grow, the further that you're going to get from the average person's perception of reality. And the harder it is to feel understood by the average person, and the less likely you're going to feel able to relate or feel a sense of belonging with the average person. And we are social beings. We are social creatures, and we really thrive from this feeling of acceptance, validation, and belonging. And so, this is one of the biggest obstacles that we tend to experience on a journey of awakening. Is that the more we awaken, the more difficult it is for us to feel loved by the people in our lives. And so, this can become so painful for people that rather than continuing to grow and evolve, they will stop their journey altogether and return to a lower level of consciousness just to meet this emotional need. And we really have to ask ourselves, where is it that we are deriving our sense or our feeling of love from? Are we deriving our feeling of love from something outside of us? And if so, is it possible to derive this feeling of love from something within us? Because if we are able to derive our feeling of love from within, if we can connect with something deep within ourselves, the source of love within ourselves and within all things, and we feel that connection, we feel that love within ourselves, then it doesn't really matter how others perceive us. It doesn't really matter if other people don't understand us or if we don't feel loved from the people around us, because we're not reliant on their feeling of love for our feeling of love. And so we have the freedom to continue to pursue our path regardless of how other people perceive it. So this is really something that I continue to come back to again and again if I ask myself why I have fear of doing something, why I am resisting growing in my path, and I'm stuck somewhere. I tend to notice that a lot of it is because there's a fear. There's a fear that if I continue to grow, if I continue to evolve as a person, then I may not be understood. I may not be understood by my family, by my friends, by the people I talk to on the internet here, and maybe I won't even be able to recognize myself if I continue to deepen my path and my awareness on this journey. And this is really all just the working of fear. It's the fear of not feeling loved. And it operates in so many areas of our lives. So if you start to question your own life and start to ask, where do I meet this need? Where do I feel loved? What do I do to meet this feeling of feeling loved? You'll start to notice all of the motivations, all of the things that motivate your actions, and all the things you do in life, and how many of them are just motivated by this desire to feel loved. The things that we wear or don't wear, the things we say or don't say, the people we surround ourselves with or not, we are ultimately on one level seeking to meet this emotional need of belonging, of being understood, being validated, and feeling loved. So let's say that someone was raised in a certain religious belief, whatever that one may be. Their whole family, all their friends, all the people that they know and that they feel loved from, they all think according to this religious belief. But say that some person in this scenario has a spiritual experience, an awakening experience, and they see a deeper truth to reality, one that doesn't really fit into this framework of this one organized religion, and yet it's so powerful for them. It's so personal and spiritual and transformative that they feel really excited about it. They feel really strongly like they want to pursue that further. Well, they're faced with this choice now. They're faced with this dilemma. Do I change my worldview and beliefs? they've already started to change. Do I continue to follow this and honor this? Well, if I do, then I may not get the acceptance. I may even be downright rejected from all of these people, from all my family, from all my friends, from the society, religion that I'm a part of. And is that worth it? Is it worth it for me to pursue my heart if I'm going to be rejected, if I'm not going to be accepted, if I'm not going to feel loved? And for the majority of people, it's not worth it. For a lot of people, that pain and that fear is enough for them to stop their pursuit of truth altogether and to just return to what's familiar, to return to what's safe, and to return to where they get this feeling of love. And we can use so many different scenarios for this. People that feel addictions or that have addictions to certain substances, they feel loved when they're high. They feel loved temporarily from that substance or from the people that they're taking that substance with. I know for myself personally, I grew up in an environment where a lot of people smoked weed, and I felt a lot of sense of belonging with this group of people that smoked weed. And I know that if I stopped smoking and I decided I don't want to smoke anymore, all of these friends or people I thought were my friends wouldn't really accept me anymore. And so for a long time, I really struggled with this feeling of that I won't feel loved if I, excuse me, I won't feel loved if I give up this habit, because with all these other people I indulge in this habit with, I have a sense of love, a sense of belonging. So we can see in many examples how this core need really shapes our life in many ways. And the more that I've explored this, the more that I've thought about and noticed the effect of this concept in my life, the more I've seen just how powerful it really is. So if you're really on a path of evolution, if you truly want to grow spiritually, then you have to recognize how this plays out in your life, and you need to recognize where you're deriving your feeling of love from and start to inquire inwards to discover a source of love within yourself. Because it's only when we get to this point of awakening love within ourselves and being connected to the source of love within ourselves that we're truly free from this fear of not feeling loved by other people. Because it's deeply ingrained in us, it's deeply wired in our social primate brains that we want to be a part of the tribe, we want to belong, we want to feel important, we want to feel understood, we want to feel loved. And we really jeopardize all of that when we take such a radical path of awakening, one that's so different from the status quo, so different from the average person. And this is an obstacle that we will come up against perhaps many times on this journey as we continue to grow and evolve. So it's really important to be aware of it, and simply just to continue to ask that question, to notice in your life, where do you derive your sense of love from? And can you derive this sense of love from within yourself? And can you start by loving yourself? Can you start by bringing an energy and an attitude of loving kindness to yourself rather than being critical or judgmental of yourself, as many of us tend to be? Can you start to be loving towards yourself? Because as you start to generate more compassion, more kindness, and more love towards yourself, you start to awaken your heart and you start to become capable of discovering the source of love within yourself.